The PlayStation Classic will likely go down as one of the biggest blunders in Sony's history. A dedicated console celebrating the best-selling console of the 5th generation sounds like a great idea, but people just did not care for it and the average price of the thing fell down like crazy. At the same time though, you can't deny that the thing had potential, and it leaves myself asking, what can make it better? Now, of course, modders have become pretty savvy with the device and have been adding their own games to the system, and that's all fine and good, but what about an updated model that appeals to the general consumer with no interest in modding? So for today, I'm gonna be checking out how Sony could fix the PlayStation Classic. For the record, a lot of these are hypothetical since of course issues such as licensing might pop up in some of these games, but for a dream PlayStation Classic, I just think Sony should focus on quality above all else. Let's get started. One of the biggest issues with the PlayStation Classic is that not every game uses the NTSC version. Some use PAL, and this results in slower performance across the board and an overall unpolished experience. A debug menu allows you to choose between the regions, but this doesn't cut it. Out of the box, games need to be properly optimized for the region you're in. Simple as that. These controllers are awful. Sure, they're authentic to the originals, but they lack the versatility of the ones featured in Nintendo's Classic Edition systems. Whereas those are able to be used with the Wii U for retro games in addition to their native consoles, these use USB connections, but can't be used on a computer. But the biggest issue is that they're not DualShock analog controllers, and a lot of games really benefit from analog controls. Say what you will, but for my money, it's not a true PlayStation celebration without the DualShock. Oh boy, here's the fun part. Easily, the biggest point of contention with this system is its game selection. There are some heavy hitters for sure, but not quite enough. For a successor or an update to the PlayStation Classic, I want there to be a bigger emphasis on the quality games that help define the 5th generation of gaming. The original model had some iconic games like Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy VII, and Oddworld, but a number of games that had better versions elsewhere and a few decent but oddball choices. Even if licensing issues get in the way, for a successor, games like Ape Escape, Crash 2 and 3, Crash Team Racing, Spyro 2 and 3, Parappa the Rapper, and Tomb Raider need to be included. Personally, I would shuffle games that aren't as critically acclaimed or beloved out of the lineup. For example, Grand Theft Auto and especially Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six have less than beloved PS1 ports, and I think those should be excluded in favor of quality. At the same time, I'd keep in some of the lesser known but still fondly remembered games of the system. Rayman may not be the most commercially successful franchise out there, but it's a beloved launch title nonetheless, and I think it should stay. Similarly, Jumping Flash may not be one of the most iconic games on the platform, but it's one of the earliest examples of a 3D platformer, so I think it should still be included. I'm split on the more niche titles such as Mr. Driller and Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, as those are definitely fun games, but they don't immediately pop into my head when PlayStation's the topic of discussion, and I think Capcom in particular had better arcade ports on Sega's consoles. If nothing else, shuffle out a couple of less than beloved games, feature some more heavy hitters of the era, and you're good to go. With all that said, do I see an update to the PlayStation Classic even happening? Maybe. The PlayStation is a console that helped define a generation and position Sony as a force to be reckoned with, so I think it deserves a proper highlight of its legacy. In the meantime though, there's already plenty of ways to experience the console's greatness, and I'd rather Sony take their time to plan an update rather than rush it out again anyways. With that said, my name's Justin, and I'll see you guys next time.